In the quiet corners of history, there are battles fought, kings crowned, and empires lost. But sometimes, history changes not with swords or armies, but with a single piece of paper. A letter. Ink on parchment, carried across borders, delivered by tired hands, yet powerful enough to reshape the world. Tonight, let me tell you the sleepy, astonishing tale of the letter that changed everything. A letter that altered alliances, saved lives, destroyed empires, and rewrote the path of human destiny. Close your eyes, settle into the gentle rhythm of the past, and drift with me into the quiet world where one letter changed history forever. It was a cold winter night, centuries ago. The moon hung low, pale and watchful, as if it knew that something extraordinary was happening behind the dimly lit window of a royal study room. Inside sat a man, tired, anxious, and burdened with the weight of an entire kingdom. His quill trembled slightly as he dipped it into the ink. Beside him, a single candle flickered, casting shadows that danced across shelves filled with dusty scrolls and forgotten maps. He knew the consequences. He knew that what he was about to write might bring peace or plunge nations into chaos. But he also knew doing nothing would be worse. So he wrote, word by careful word, line by trembling line, a confession, a warning, and a plea. His mind drifted back to the tense summer that had passed, the near war, the secret meetings, the betrayals whispered in dim corridors. He remembered the fear in the eyes of his people, the way the soldiers trained day and night, waiting for the signal that would send them to the battlefield. He thought of the queen, gentle, intelligent, terrified. She had begged him to choose peace. He promised her he would. And so this letter was his final attempt, a message to a distant ruler, a last hope to prevent a war that neither side was prepared to fight. The quill scratched softly like a whisper in the night. When the final word was written, he blew gently to dry the ink. Then he folded the parchment, sealed it with warm wax, and pressed his royal emblem into it. For a moment, he hesitated. Was this the right decision? Would history judge him a hero or a fool? But he had no choice. He called for his trusted rider, a man known for speed, secrecy, and loyalty. He whispered, "Take this. Ride through the night. Deliver it safely. This letter must not fall into the wrong hands." The rider nodded, slipped the letter into his coat, and vanished into the cold darkness. Outside, the world slept. Inside, history had just changed its course. The rider galloped through frozen forests, his breath forming clouds in the icy air. The hooves of his horse struck the ground rhythmically, a steady, determined heartbeat against the silence of the winter night. He knew the danger. He knew spies roamed these woods. He knew bandits lurked near the border. And he knew that the message he carried was worth more than any treasure. As dawn approached, the sky turned soft shades of pink and gold, but the beauty of the morning could not ease his tension. Every rustle in the trees made him tighten his grip. Every gust of wind seemed like a whisper of danger. Then suddenly, he heard it. Distant hooves, fast, too fast. He urged his horse forward, heart pounding. The cold wind tore at his cloak as he raced along narrow paths. Behind him, the sound grew louder. Someone was following him. He took a sharp turn through a valley, snow spraying around him as the horse skidded slightly. The path narrowed. The cliffs rose on both sides. He was trapped in a corridor of rock and ice. The riders behind him were getting closer. He whispered to his horse, a soft, desperate plea, and the loyal animal surged forward, muscles straining against the cold. Suddenly, arrows sliced through the air. One grazed his shoulder, another struck the ground near the horse's legs. He clenched his jaw, ignoring the pain, focusing only on the mission. Ahead, he saw a wooden bridge, old, narrow, dangerous. But it was his only way across the ravine. He raced towards it. Just as his horse reached the other side, he grabbed a torch from his saddle, turned, and threw it onto the bridge. The dry wood burst into flames. The pursuing riders skidded to a halt on the other side, shouting in fury. As the flames devoured the bridge, he didn't look back. He kept riding. The letter stayed safe, but the danger was far from over.
At last, after 3 days of sleepless riding, he arrived at a grand palace, shimmering beneath the winter sun. Tall towers rose like frozen sentinels, and soldiers in silver armor stood guard at the gates. He dismounted slowly, exhaustion weighing on every step. But he clutched the letter tightly. This was his purpose. Inside, the palace was warm, glowing with golden torches, and decorated with tapestries of ancient victories. He was led through the long corridor into the queen's private chamber. She sat near a window, wrapped in a velvet cloak. Her eyes were sharp, intelligent, but weary. War had been looming for months, and she carried the weight of her people's fear. The rider bowed deeply and presented the letter. She broke the seal with trembling fingers. As she read, her expression shifted from confusion to shock to something deeper. A tear fell onto the parchment. The letter revealed secret plans, hidden threats, political traps set by her own advisors, and a plea from the king across the border for peace. It exposed conspiracies crafted by warmongers who sought profit and bloodshed. It explained misunderstandings that had grown into hatred. It asked for a meeting, a chance to stop the war, a chance to save thousands of lives. The queen closed her eyes and breathed slowly, feeling the enormity of the moment. She whispered softly, "This letter may save us all." She summoned her generals, her council, and her diplomats. Arguments erupted, voices rose, but the queen remained calm, a steady presence amid the storm. She knew, deep within her heart, this was the turning point. By midnight, she wrote her own letter, a letter crafted with hope and wisdom, a letter sealing her promise for peace. History shifted, ever so quietly. Weeks later, in a snowy valley between the two kingdoms, two rulers met in secret. No banners, no armies, no weapons, only trust. The king arrived first, wrapped in fur to protect himself from the biting cold. He felt the weight of his decision and the hope that perhaps this would end the fear that had consumed his kingdom. A soft crunch of snow signaled her arrival. The queen stepped forward, calm, confident, but cautious. They exchanged a brief nod. Two leaders who had been forced apart by lies, now brought together by truth. For hours they spoke about the misunderstandings, the intercepted messages, the plots of corrupt nobles, the merchants who wanted war for profit, and the spies who whispered poison into their ears. slowly, like snow melting under gentle sunlight. The distance between them disappeared. They signed an agreement, a pact of peace stronger than any sword. Messengers were sent across both lands. Soldiers returned from the borders. Families who had lived in fear finally slept in peace. And all of this, all of it, because of one letter. Years passed. The two kingdoms that once prepared for war now flourished together. Trade routes opened. Students crossed borders to study. Musicians shared songs. Markets thrived. And the people, ordinary people, lived lives untouched by the horrors of war. Children who would have grown up as orphans grew up laughing instead. Fields that would have been burned bloomed with wheat and flowers. Rivers that would have run red remained clear and peaceful. The king and queen remained allies for the rest of their lives. Their kingdoms prospered. Their people remembered them as the rulers who chose peace when war seemed inevitable. And the letter? It was preserved in a golden case, hidden deep within the royal archives, a quiet reminder that the smallest actions can change the world. Centuries later, historians opened those dusty archives. They found the letter, its ink faded, its edges worn, but its message eternal. A message that whispered across time. Sometimes history turns, not with battles, but with courage. Not with armies, but with honesty. Not with power, but with a single letter. And that is how one simple piece of parchment changed history forever.